What's up everybody, I'm Paul and welcome to my channel. So in this video, I want to talk about what you should do with your money when your business starts turning a profit. Because it can be very tempting when you've put all that hard work into your business and it's started to grow and it's eventually starting to turn a profit to go and splurge that money on some extravagant expense like a Lambo or a Rolex. Well, maybe not a Lambo or a Rolex, but you want to go and reward yourself for all that hard work you've put into your business. But is that the best way to spend your money? Well, in this video, I'm going to answer two questions, which are, should you reinvest money into your business? And if so, how much should you reinvest into your business? So stick around because I think this video might be helpful to a few people. So the first one is, should you reinvest profits into your business? And of course, the answer is absolutely. This is because it's this cash reinjection into your business that's going to enable you to grow. And it doesn't matter what your business is, this cash injection is always going to be helpful. And I'll give you a couple of examples. If you've got an e-commerce business, you could reinvest in new stock lines. You could invest in new marketing techniques. If you've got a blog, you could invest in upgrading your hosting or invest in a backlinks campaign. If you've got a YouTube channel, you can invest in better equipment. You could invest in better editing equipment. Maybe even bringing somebody in to do your editing for you. There's so many options when it comes to things you can do with your business when it comes to reinvesting. You could even reinvest in learning new skills so you can optimize how good you are at running your business. There may also be some tax advantages to reinvest in your profits as well, but I would highly recommend going and speaking to a chartered accountant about this because they'll be able to give you the correct advice as to what you can and can't reinvest your profits into, so it will give you some tax advantages. But as I say, I would recommend going and speaking to a chartered accountant. But overall, yes, you should be reinvesting your profits into your business because this is what's going to enable you to grow. So the second thing is, how much of your profit should you be reinvesting into your business? Now, this is going to make me sound quite old, but I've seen a few younger influencers on places like YouTube saying you should be reinvesting 100% of your profits back into your business. And I don't agree with this strategy at all. I think this is very high risk and it could leave you in quite a precarious position in the future. Instead, I think you should invest a proportion of your profits back into your business, but you should also save a portion as well, because it's always useful to have a cash buffer in your business because it can make it just so much easier to run your business across the year. And there's a couple of examples for this. The first one is, a lot of businesses are quite seasonal. I know my e-commerce business was. I was in the jewelry trade, and basically from the end of September, start of October through to Valentine's Day, it was the peak period. That's when I was super busy. But over the summer, things really tailed off. And it wasn't unusual for sales to be at 20-30% of what they were in the Christmas rush. And if I hadn't have had the cash buffer behind me, this would have been a really stressful period because I'd have been worried about how am I going to pay my bills the next month if I have a really bad month. But having that cash buffer behind me, I wasn't worried at all because I knew if I had a really lean month, I could just dip into that pot, pay my bills off, and then top that back up when we get into the busy periods. And most businesses will have some kind of seasonal aspect to them. There's very few businesses out there that are busy 24/7, 365. Most businesses will have this kind of seasonal cyclical aspect to them. And it doesn't matter what your business is, whether it's e-commerce, blogging, YouTube, it doesn't matter. You can have this process where some months are going to be better than others. And another reason why having a cash buffer can be hugely helpful to run your business is should there be some kind of economic downturn, because this can have a real detrimental effect to a lot of businesses. Now, there are some businesses out there that are going to actually benefit from economic downturns, but a lot of businesses are going to suffer in some way, especially things like e-commerce, even blogging and things like that, because people generally cut back on their spending when there's an economic downturn. And if you've got no money behind you, it can be a hugely stressful period, because if you've got no money in the bank and your sales or your income has fell off a cliff, how are you going to pay next month's expenses? And what about the month after that and the month after that? It's the businesses that have got no cash behind them that generally fall the quickest when there's an economic downturn. And once again, I experienced this with my e-commerce business. In 2016, we had the Brexit vote, and basically sales just fell off a cliff. We went into kind of a mini economic downturn because people were uncertain as to what was going to happen, and people stopped spending, especially on non-essential luxury items such as jewelry. And if I hadn't have had that cash buffer behind me, I would have been hugely stressed out. I was stressed out enough as it was, but I'd have been even more stressed out because I would have been worried about how am I going to pay my expenses next month? What about the month after, like I just said? But the fact that I had that cash buffer behind me, it took a lot of the stress off me because I knew I had 12 months plus worth of expenses. So I could basically sit there, focus on basically how do I try and rebuild the business up, or do I just write this out? But I didn't have that stress of worrying where's next month's kind of rent going to come from or anything like that. I didn't have those stresses because I knew I had that cash behind me. So that is why I think you should have some kind of cash buffer in your business. But how much should you have? As I just said, I think between 6 and 12 months is a good amount to have because it's going to basically tide you over that kind of worst period if there's some kind of economic downturn. And if you don't believe me that having cash reserves can be helpful to your business, I'm going to put up a screenshot of 15 of the largest companies in the S&P 500, and it's going to show their cash reserves. As you can see, the top 5 have over $50 billion in cash reserves, and the top 3 have over $100 billion. Yes, that's billion, not million dollars in cash reserves. And this gives them extreme liquidity, which means they can ride out any kind of storms because they've got this money behind them. And it just makes running your business so much less stressful, knowing that you've got this basically emergency barrier behind you, supporting you to go on and run your business. So there you go, guys. That is what I think you should do with your profits. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please drop a like on it. Also, you can support the channel by buy me a coffee using the link in the description, which is very much appreciated. And anybody who's got to this point in the video, thank you so much. You guys are absolutely awesome for sticking through and listening to me gibber and jabber on for however long this video is going to be. But if you want to learn more about how to calculate profits for your business, I will leave a video here so you can go and check that out for yourself, which may be really useful to some of you guys. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.